With her can-do attitude, love of simple gardens and decades of experience, Charlie Dimmock is one of Britain's best-loved gardeners.
Fire pit there, water feature bubbling away there.
But the Rich brothers are the new trendsetters. Winners of multiple medals at the Chelsea Flower Show.
Valiant job.
The boys have become known for their dramatic outdoor spaces. Now, these two different generations of gardening are going head-to-head.
They may have a few gold medals, but I've got one or two tricks up my sleeve.
They're meeting frustrated garden owners across the country.
It looks like a driveway.
I wasn't going to say that.
And will each pitch them a design based on their needs and budget.
Let's hope they choose us.
The winner brings their design to life, and the loser
Come on, we're in.
has to help them build it.
Get all the best jobs me, don't I?
This is what happens
Who designed this garden? Stupid person.
when different styles collide
Oh, dear, you geeks.
to turn garden dreams into reality.
It's like walking down some stately home. It's beautiful.
It's time for Charlie and the Rich brothers to learn more about today's garden challenge.
Right, we're off to Shoreham by Sea.
We'll get my bucket spade out.
This is John and David, and this is their garden.
Oh, it's long.
It is.
The thing about the house is it's relatively small, but the garden is massive. And one of the things that we really like is the big garden is just going to be an extension of the house, really, so that we can do lots of entertaining in the garden.
But the great thing about this is the garden is going to be for their wedding reception.
Oh, pressure on.
So think quite a lot of people, so you've got to fit them in, make it look beautiful for the photos.
It's all about the photos, isn't it, nowadays?
We've been together 20 years and we want to get married really to celebrate that fact. And we want our friends here to do the same. So we want a party rather than a wedding, I suppose.
Yeah, I agree.
So they do want the wow factor so they can show off a bit.
Fair enough, it's their special day.
Yes,
Let them have it.
But they do want an entertainment area afterwards, so they're going to use it. So it's not
not
all
just-
about the wedding.
So John's a keen, avid cook. I'm the commis chef, really, but we do a lot of cooking together.
So the kitchen's important to us, cooking's important, and entertaining is important to us as well. So when our friends come round, we normally cook for them.
I wouldn't say we were gardeners, but we like the garden.
So whatever we do to it, we're looking for something that's easy to maintain and do kind of the tricky stuff. I'll pass over to you, David.
Yeah, like mowing the lawn and getting rid of all the weeds.
Yeah, that's
Everything
tricky.
like that, yeah.
What's the budget?
4,500.
Not bad.
But it is a big garden.
So the designers head to Shoreham to see for themselves how to make the £4,500 budget stretch the whole length of John and David's garden.
Pretty good, that.
Nice roses.
Yeah, great.
Yeah.
Little bit of an ugly view at the moment, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice furniture, though.
Lovely.
Avery?
Yeah, with a shed on the side.
Come crocodile cage.
But it is nice, they've got plenty of plants here, they've got more roses again.
Strawberries.
Yeah, lovely.
Ooh.
I mean, it's blank, but it's very, very long and narrow.
It's a huge garden, but it is very kind of cliche in a way, isn't it? You've just got like flower bed on the side,
Yeah.
a lawn up, and then you've got that nice little concrete path.
I mean, thinking rooms.
Not too many rooms, though, because it's a big old garden.
Yeah.
Tackle a couple of rooms, maybe.
I think you better go and tackle the inside of the house to
Yeah.
get some more inspiration.
Whoa, I like this room a lot. It's got, like, really nice furniture. And
It has, definitely, yeah. I mean, the furniture feels slightly modern, but for me, the real star piece in this room is that dragon plant.
That's absolutely gorgeous, isn't
It
it?
is. It balances off the formality of the furniture with the real looseness,
Yeah.
quite charming character of like the gnarled, twisted stems.
Yeah, so I reckon then, with the garden, give it a lovely structure, the bones of it.
Yeah.
Nice and usable, but then use the wildness, thread it through, create that little bit of romance.
Charming. Right. Hope there's more in the next room.
Oh, yeah, keep the romance up.
While Harry and David have unearthed the couple's taste for mid-20th century design, Charlie's tapping up David and John themselves for information.
David.
Hello.
John. Well, I mean, this garden is huge. Did you buy the house because of the garden?
The house is a small one and the garden really sold it to us for the space. We love the space, we're just not quite sure what to do with it.
Right, that's fair enough. Now, in your application, you said that you're going to have an extension built. So
Yeah.
whereabouts is that sort of going?
It's going to mirror next doors. That's relatively new, so we're just going to go from there about 9 feet into the garden all the way across.
Oh, OK, so it's not coming right into the garden.
It's not
It's
going to go into the garden at all.
You're not losing all the garden
No,
then?
no, none of it, really.
No.
Oh yeah, this definitely has the same kind of feeling as the other room, doesn't it?
It does, yeah.
Slightly more eclectic, maybe?
It definitely. There's a nice arrangement of like bowls,
Yeah.
different styles, crockery, glasses. It's busy, but it's not over-cluttered.
Yeah, it's
Not
gorgeous.
afraid to have colour, to have interest.
And to live in the space, it feels like it's properly lived in. So I think with the garden, it's going to have the same kind of feeling.
Which, at the moment doesn't complement what's inside at all.
No.
So a nice kind of style to it. Not too busy, but definitely have that nice eclectic kind of mix.
Definitely.
I know you said you don't know what you want, but you must have some sort of idea.
We do like to spend a lot of time out in the garden. It's the first time we've had a garden, so we've made
Oh,
the
is
most
it?
of it. Yeah.
Oh, OK.
At the moment, we're only using this space here, and although this is pleasant to look at, we'd like it to be a lot more interesting.
Party, sort of entertainment room.
Yeah, that sounds good to me.
A more chilled, cool, relax, reading a book type of room.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And we've got that special occasion coming up next year, haven't we?
We would like to bring everybody back here, yeah.
The reception's here. Ooh!
Yeah.
So how many have we got to cater for? 500?
No.
Five.
No, there'll be quite a few, but so.
So we need to, apart from doing the garden, we need to make the garden, some areas of the garden, big enough for a decent number of people.
Absolutely.
The £4,500 budget is generous, but the garden is a large one, and with a special occasion coming up, the designers have got their work cut out. They'll each come up with a garden design to address all of David and John's needs. The budget will cover the cost of materials and plants, while all the labour will be supplied by Charlie, the Rich brothers, and their team of landscapers. The couple will select their garden of choice, and the losing designer will help the winner create it. Back in Shoreham, it's time for the designers to pitch their ideas. Will Harry and David's insight into the couple's taste for a mix of formal and informal influence their design?
Hello.
Hello, hello, hello.
So we know that you wanted to have a garden that was an extension to the house, somewhere that really took advantage of all the space you've got out here. So we wanted to give you a informal English courtyard garden, and that was split up into different spaces that gave you different uses.
This doesn't look like our garden, does it?
Charlie's learned that the couple want to use their garden for both parties and general relaxing.
John, David, you are after a garden with a bit of everything in. So hopefully that's what I've given you.
Colour, definitely colour.
So I've given you 3 distinct rooms. Traditional vegetable herb garden or not garden, a contemporary entertainment area, and a wildlife chill-out zone just for you.
Both designers are offering a series of outdoor rooms, something John and David were clear they wanted. But will Charlie's more distinct divisions have the edge? How will the brothers tackle the vital entertaining area?
So outside of the house, we've got a small patio area. So it's enough for maybe like a small coffee table, something like that, if you don't want to enter into the garden. Then as you journey through them, we've got these nice informal pockets of planting, which define this nice central seating area. And then also we thought it'd be really nice, because this would be like the dining, eating out area, we wanted to incorporate like a little preparation station, which rhymes, that's fantastic, where maybe you could have a barbecue, but then you have this nice little prep table, you know, where you can do your stuff, put your plates out, get your salad ready on there, things like that, and then serve in this area.
John and David are keen cooks who love nothing more than having friends over for dinner. And the brothers may have scored a winner with their food prep and cooking area. What's Charlie offering?
This section here, which is a shallow pool of water that you walk across that leads you in to the entertaining area. Now, in the centre, we've got these 2 containers that are going to be quite striking, and then just a gentle bubble of water each side. So I can see your wedding photos there. And then I wanted sort of a dramatic entrance into your patio area. This is much more contemporary and modern.
And that's paving, is it, in the middle?
That's all paving there. So it's a patio area. It's about 3 metres by 5 metres. So that would definitely get a nice big dining room table in there. And then this bottom bit of the garden, which is your very quiet, chilled area with this sort of hanging seat. So you can just sprawl there at the end of the day on some cushions.
Excellent. Very nice.
While Charlie's providing a substantial dining terrace in the middle of the garden, she's made no provision for alfresco cooking. Has she regained the initiative by offering a more private chill-out zone for when the party's over? What have Harry and David got planned for the bottom of the garden?
And then we wanted to journey through the existing pergola there into a second seating area.
We've completely closed it off with shrubs so that you can't see through. It completely blocks your eye. And over this arch, we'd love to grow some roses. You've already got your honeysuckle, which will grow up and tangle together. So you're creating this really romantic kind of threshold, really, where you walk through. And these shrubs will help, again, to kind of just give impact to that space and kind of help block the kind of boundaries and create a softer approach.
It looks very relaxing.
The brothers have introduced the idea of subtly screening this very open garden with a mix of planting. But John and David have made no secret of the fact that neither of them is a keen gardener and that maintenance is not a high priority. Will Charlie have remembered that?
So I've got traditional knot garden down by the house using vegetables, herbs and flowers that you can cut for the house. So it's sort of a working garden but looking very pretty, very traditional and formal. And then you lead through under the pergola to support your lovely honeysuckle.
Looks very nice.
The pitches are over.
Thank you very much.
I'm liking the look of that.
See you in a bit.
Very good, thank you.
John and David have some serious thinking to do.
God, David, this is tricky.
It's rather nice, isn't it?
Lovely.
What did you do then with your garden?
Well, we decided not to do the whole thing. We wanted to concentrate more on kind of the 2/3 of it.
I just wasn't terribly clear about what happens after kind of the end point. So I'm not seeing it quite as a whole as I'm seeing Charlie's design.
I've gone for 3 distinct rooms. Traditional knot garden, then I've got a very contemporary patio, and then I've got a wild meadow at the bottom.
Oh, nice. You've really packed a lot in.
I do think Charlie has picked up on quite a few of the elements of what we wanted.
Water feature that you walk across.
Oh, you have packed a lot into...
How much money is this one?
Yes, it's hot.
But I think the Rich brothers have taken another element of it and they've extended our living space into the garden. And you just walk out the dining room and you've got the informality of the patio, but then you've just got that other space where you can sit and have dinner, have a cup of coffee, have a glass of wine. I am really, really struggling to come up with a choice on this one.
It may be a struggle to choose, but choose they must. Will John and David opt for the Rich brothers' informal outdoor living room with evergreen structure and meadow-style planting? Or is Charlie's design, with its 3 distinct zones and combination of traditional planting and contemporary styling, going to get their vote?
Perhaps I've gone a bit mad. Yeah, I'm worried now.
It's time to find out who's won.
Hello.
Hello, hello, hello. We love both of them. You've really picked up on elements of what we wanted for the garden and both designs.
It was a very, very difficult decision, but we've decided to go with...
I'm slightly worried now. Excited.
We absolutely loved it, Charlie. It's the entertainment space that we wanted. It's the informal bit at the back that we were just going to be able to relax in and everything. It's just grabbed everything that we wanted from the garden. So looking forward to having that.
Brilliant. What are we doing then? What are you squeezing around for?
Delighted though she is to have won, Charlie's well aware of the challenge ahead and that she's going to rely heavily on Harry and David to get the job done. It's the morning of the build and the teams arrived.
Here then. It's a long one, isn't it? Are we doing all of this?
They're accessing John and David's plot through their obliging neighbour's garden.
We're in.
And Joe, Kyle, Chris and Rosie are ready to be briefed by project manager Andy.
Big thing in this garden is this sort of pool pond, and we've got step pavers going through that, so it's pretty swanky.
Like that.
And then we've got a whole big lump of paving in here.
Say, a lot of digging there.
Get this out. Yeah, great. Should we get on? Lovely job.
The first job is to clear the patio.
Hang on, how come they get the light things?
Oh, Rosie, well done.
I know.
Ready?
Yeah.
Right, Joe, yeah, you might as well set that up here. I mean, we might as well use that as
The furniture's been moved and bird bath's gone. Next, it's the turn of the old aviary.
I thought that was a Wendy house. You're not allowed to play in it either. Or you, Joe?
What are you on about?
Playing in it isn't quite what Joe has in mind. And she and Andy make short work of it.
Oh, flat packing opposite. I like that.
Before consigning it to history in the skip. Charlie also wants the existing rose arch to come out, but one of the plants is staying put.
We need to save that honeysuckle, Joe. So do you want to see what's holding him up? But everything else around it, the raised bed, the arch, everything needs to go.
Yeah. Do you want me to help you?
So plantswoman Rosie steps in
So if I go like that...
to tackle what turns out to be a tricky customer.
That's a really nice thick trunk.
You want me to saw through the honeysuckle at the bottom there, yeah? I'll just get the handsaw.
And this top one, then you don't have to worry. It's got a really nice structure to him. Yeah. Nice old boy.
Joe's proving pretty handy with a sledgehammer and has turned her attention to demolishing the old brick-built beds. In Charlie's design, these tired old beds in the rose arch will be replaced by a brand new pergola and a modern version of a Tudor knot garden. Andy's under no illusions about the scale of the task.
We got, well, all sorts going in the garden up there, but the end of it is 16 metres away. Oh, blimey, it's a long way.
He's marking out the location of Charlie's water feature, but there seems to be an issue.
We've been waiting this morning for a digger to arrive, and it's not arrived yet, and, you know, we just have to get on.
Kyle's drawn the short straw.
Looks like we're digging it out then. Great.
Digging out a large area of garden would be a hard enough challenge, but when the heavy clay soil has been baked hard by the sun, it's nothing short of back-breaking.
It's a skill, you know, to dig properly.
He'd rather have a digger, wouldn't he, really?
Yeah, so would I, but...
Yeah, the ground's pretty hard.
Oh, well, keep going.
You're right, it's hard, isn't it?
But never fear, the cavalry's here.
Mamma mia!
Better late than never, and Chris and the digger make short work of finishing off the pond.
It's made all the difference to the old digger in here. It's a bit quicker.
Chris has dug out the patio area and is banking up all the excavated soil for use in the raised beds. Rosie's hard at it on the concrete path, and Andy's keen to press on.
Chris, do you want to take hold of this pond edge?
No worries.
Joe, if you just support the boys.
Chris is building the walls of the pond, using cement to secure concrete blocks in place. Rosie's finished the path and now has another important job to do.
Charlie's asked me to titivate the existing roses, and the soil that they're growing in is perfect because it's clay. Ideally, what I'd love to do is prune them so that we can encourage fresh growth, but it's the wrong time of the year to do that. What we can do is we can deadhead them to get more blooms coming up, and we can remove the weeds that are growing around them because they love to have air circulating. If they don't, they get things like black spot, as we've seen here.
Keen to avoid any black marks of his own, Kyle's laid most of the patio in the dining area. And just in time, Charlie and the Rich brothers have arrived to muck in.
You ready for this?
Yeah. I am more than ready.
So, a very, very big day today. So there's a few projects, she says. In actual fact, there's quite an eclectic mix of things. We've got the knot garden, we've got pergola, we've got a seating area, we've got a dining area.
Water feature.
And a water feature.
A long old list, isn't it?
It is, but it's gotta look beautiful.
Yeah, no doubt.
Right, lots to do. So the timber work's just going in for the knot gardens. So it's basically the kitchen room, really. Then we come through what's going to be the pergola that the boys are going to be on, keeping this lovely honeysuckle to the lawn. We're going to have this border here that's going to be full of beautiful, glamorous plants, great backdrop for wedding photos, and that leads you into the dining room area, but you access it going through this water feature, stepping stones across and up into this dining room area. And then that leads you on through to the snug room. So over here, we're going to have a little pergola with a bench hanging off of it and planting where David and John can come and sit and maybe read a book and be nice and quiet and just chill out. But so much to do, so no chilling out yet.
Chris and Joe have almost finished the timber surrounds for Charlie's knot garden beds.
Can you move the end of that sleep rope for me, please, Joe? Yeah, that's fine.
Right, Chazza.
Yeah?
Where is this pergola going?
Right, well, you can see where the honeysuckle is.
Yes.
It's basically going from here to there about a metre across so that we can tie that in and then also get another climber up here.
Is the leg going in here?
Inside the knot garden area.
Four legs.
Yeah.
Big archway.
Big arch there, so it doesn't impede the view because I want the view to go straight down through all the rooms.
Gorgeous, say
So
no
you're
more.
working in the kitchen to start off with.
Nice. Right, should we go get the timber?
Yes.
Harry and David have got 8 posts, each 3 metres tall,
Watch yourself, big girl.
which needs to be sunk into the soil about half a metre to form a sturdy base from the top beams. While David ensures the posts are perfectly straight, Harry screws them to the frame. Then, using a string line, the brothers check the posts are properly aligned.
There we are, so that's pretty plumb now with the string line.
Once the brothers are happy the posts are properly positioned, they can be set in place with concrete and left to dry. There's some more cement needed for the construction of Charlie's water feature.
That level, Kyle?
Bang on, mate.
That is determining the water level, isn't it?
Yes, water does tend to be
Oh,
level,
hello.
doesn't it? So we've got the breeze blocks in, but we've
Yeah.
got to get those stepping stones in fairly quickly because they've got to walk across it in about
I know.
6 hours' time.
Yeah, I know. We're battling the time. I know.
So Charlie and Andy are keen to crack on. The pond needs a layer of sand in the bottom to protect the liner from any sharp stones that may work their way up out of the soil and tear it.
Up and over.
Oh, well, that's a really good place to have a post.
You can pass if you answer the riddle.
Oh, OK.
What gets wetter the more that it dries?
A towel.
Yeah! Come on.
God, dear, you geeks.
Down.
Right, next person.
You filled that one up, didn't you?
Well, this is handy. Who put the water feature here? Do you know we are making a rod for our own back here? Well, because we're stopping access to the garden, really, aren't we?
absolutely, I know. Nothing much we can do about that.
Who designed this garden? Stupid person.
It's now safe for Charlie to start lining it, firstly with a layer of fleece. A very large layer of fleece.
Did you get enough?
Well, it came in this size.
It only came in this size. I don't believe you. So we're going right up and over the edge of the breeze blocks. I need a bit more sheet this way, sir. Don't hog the sheet.
Right, then we'll cut him off.
Nothing personal. you at home, but could you get out of the water feature? Because we can't put the second layer down. This is now the liner, so this is the waterproof bit, and this is where shoes come off.
It's important to do this so you don't tear the delicate liner.
Oh,
You've already got stone in there.
Well, who did that? The liner and the fleece was about £140. And then we've got 2 pumps, because it's easier for what I want to do, to have 2 pumps. They're about £140. And then we've got the oak that goes round the top edge as well, which is about another £150. So 1, 2, 3, 4, so all in £450. But it is a major feature. It's going to look gorgeous. So we just need to make sure you're getting it right up and into the corners, like that, all the way along. Another stone. And here. Right, it's stepping stone time then.
Now that the pond is properly lined, the team can get on with the next stage of Charlie's design. A path goes through the middle of the pond by way of a series of stepping stones. Andy's marking out the dead centre so the paving can be laid precisely.
What are you doing?
It's my Charles Atlas.
It's
a thinker.
The thinker?
Hello.
To raise the level of the stepping stones so they sit as if on the water's surface, Kyle's built a platform in the middle of the pond. He can then cement the paving stones onto it.
Looking good. Got the stepping stones in. Basically now it's a case of trimming the liner up, which Andy's on now, because the stepping stones have got to go off more before we put water in. Then I've got these gorgeous containers, one for each end, that are going to sit on there. I think they look really modern and trendy, just like us. Right.
I got the squeaks.
We're actually going to start planting because we've taken a panel out just down there, so it means that we can get the plants in without having to go over the water feature. So me and Rosie are very happy about that.
And this gives the team a chance to bring in some of the £1,800 worth of plants Charlie has ordered for the garden.
Coming through on a squeaky barrow, beautiful plant, the feature plant, as you can see. Right, this is going to be the interesting bit. Ooh. Don't drop it.
Charlie's chosen a variety of Japanese maple, which can handle this sunny garden.
This is the statement tree, and it is, isn't it?
It is absolutely gorgeous.
Look at those seeds on there, just beautiful. Looks like little...
Charlie's keen that her statement tree provides a focal point in the centre of the chill-out zone at the bottom of the garden. So she and Harry are trying to establish exactly where it should be planted.
Yeah.
Now, it's sort of here, but I think we've got to come back more this way. But if I go down the end where Chris is,
I like
you
that.
pretend to be the tree. Oh, this is cosy, isn't it? Easy access to the garden. So, well, it's a multi-stem tree, not a single. Yeah, bigger than that. Think it's got to go that way a bit. Yes, I think so. But once you've done, maybe, yeah. You look, that's it in 5 years' time.
We'd be lucky. It's bigger than that now. A lot bigger.
Digging a hole big enough for a tree this size will take some doing, especially with a baked hard clay. So Harry wastes no time getting started.
Getting hot.
Once he's happy it's wide and deep enough, Harry makes some extra drainage holes in the bottom and then the holes ready for the tree.
1, 2, 3. Right.
Time for Charlie's verdict.
Ooh, Mr. Rich, that looks gorgeous.
Ding dong. A tree this size is going to cost you around £450, which is a considerable amount of money, but it does give you this gorgeous impact straight away.
The ideal time to plant trees is autumn and winter, But a container-grown specimen like this beautiful Acer palmatum masukagami will tolerate summer planting if it's thoroughly watered regularly until it gets established. So Harry's flooding the hole before it's backfilled.
Now, you can probably see a bit of a theme going on with the plants that are going to create the walls, the three sides, to the dining room, if you know what I mean. So they'll all catch in the breeze, but what they're not going to do is create a claustrophobic feel, because as you can see, they're very open and airy, and I just love the shadows that they create on the paving. So we've got bamboos, give a bit of height, and then the silver with the black works really well. So we've got this Salix exigua, which is known as coyote willow, and this Eleagnus quicksilver. Again, it's got that silver foliage and really quite open, loose shape to it. So this should make this area a really nice, calm area to sit and have dinner.
In no time at all, these willows and bamboos will grow up to form a soft screen around the dining area.
The coyote willow is dreamy.
Dreamy.
That'll find a place in my home.
Yeah, I've counted the plants. You? I know what you like. You like a little pixie, just collecting plants around the garden for back at home.
I'll take that.
I should pull that one out a bit.
While Charlie positions the plants, Andy's digging out the bed by the water feature. The rest of the team get grafting, planting up the beds around the pond, and Charlie's making a start on her pair of high-impact pots. According to her design, these will stand proud either side of the stepping stones, adding a touch of floral elegance to this most contemporary of gardens.
So I've got this rose, lovely rose, Roald Dahl, highly scented, nice apricot colour that picks up the colour of the honeysuckle that John and David were really keen to keep. Now I've made sure I've used a really rich potting compost for the rose, but they will need to feed it regularly and keep it watered so that it keeps repeat flowering. And then I thought I'd also pop in a nice grass, because that gives that sort of romantic sort of woo, and also a fleabane or a ridgeron. So that should look really nice either side of the water feature.
The pond will be edged with timber, and Joe and Kyle are cutting the pieces to the correct length and angle.
It's very heavy. I know. Very heavy wood.
While they fix the wood so it neatly skirts the water,
bits and pieces, bits and pieces.
Charlie's assembling the rest of her kit.
Right. The water feature, the edging is going on. We're being cut, made to measure, lovely green oak. Because I like the romance of the oak with the romance of the billowing flowers, and then you've got the modern, clean lines of the paving that brings the whole garden sort of together. I'm just popping in the two pumps, solar-powered pumps.
John and David's sunny South Coast garden is ideal for a solar-powered pump.
Do you want to walk over, yeah?
No. You can walk there, there, and not on those. Do not get this wrong. At your peril, sunshine.
Oh, no, it's like a mermaid trying to grab my ankles from inside the water.
Ah, no, more like a troll. Trip, trap, who's that crossing my bridge? So I need to get the cables in before they fix the oak down.
Charlie has promised a mix of old and new design touches. And back in between the medieval-inspired knot gardens, Kyle is laying more of the modern slate paving. The Rich Brothers uprights have now set firm, and Chris is finishing off the pergola. He's fixed a pair of cross beams, to which he adds a slatted roof, which the old honeysuckle can scramble over. Down in the chill-out zone at the end of the garden, Charlie has another project to be getting on with.
Let's have a look at this thing then. That's your swing seat, Charlie.
Oh, is it? Oh my! How 70s is that? It's macrame seat. Basically, this is like a swing seat, but we're making it with uprights, timber, and have a lot of planting around the back there. So it makes it like a little nook to come down to, read your book, have a cup of coffee, be quiet, while everyone else is partying up the other end of the garden. So I think it'd be nice, it's about there, and probably not too high up. So yeah, so sort of bummite, really.
Hang on.
Cheeky boy. Yeah, that might be a bit low because there's going to be a bit of give in it. I think it'd be better if it's a bit high because I want to put lamp ferns underneath.
What's so sort of 600?
Yeah, go on then.
With the uprights secured in place, Andy and Chris can finish off the frame. And there's always time for a spot of showing off.
Good, son, good!
The seat's secured using eye hooks and carabiners, so all that's left to do is give it a test run.
But you know what, that works. I like that. Oh, I might just not get up. It's really nice.
While Andy chills in the relaxation zone, Rosie finishes the borders around the dining room. And Charlie's last bit of planting is at the top of the garden in the kitchen room.
The knot garden, it's quite traditional, became really popular in the Tudor times, and it's all about combining flowers and vegetables in a sort of symmetrical pattern. So I'm using the lavender to create a cross. I'm going to put a tripod here of canes with runner beans growing up it. Got this lovely chilli. I'm going to put herbs around. And things like parsley and chives are always quite easy to look after. So I'm just arranging them in sort of a symmetrical pattern. Some hemricalis over at the back there. Should be quite pretty. And then what we're going to do is sort of mirror image it on the other side of the path. The other thing about combining things like lavender and chives is that actually helps with pests and diseases in the garden. So it sort of draws in flies like hoverflies, which will then eat the aphids that might be on your runner beans, that side of things. So it's sort of known as companion planting.
While everyone's been busy finishing their jobs, the pond has been filling with water. And the new garden is complete. David and John were at a bit of a loss about what to do with their 100-foot garden, which they rarely even ventured into. Now, thanks to Charlie's design, with its imaginative use of the space, they've got multiple zones to explore and make their own. A modern take on a traditional knot garden close to the house provides a growing zone for edibles alongside scented flowers. A new improved pergola costing £185 and spanning the width of the plot offsets the garden's great length and promises to mature into a lovely leafy bower. A smart contemporary water feature for £500 acts as a boundary to be crossed into the central zone, which features a large paved dining and entertaining area, surrounded by more fragrant planting that will grow into subtle screening around the space. And tucked away at the bottom of the garden, the third zone is a private retreat, with a stylish swing seat costing £200, where the couple can snatch some well-earned time out from their busy lives.
Just get you right next to David. David's there. You've both got your eyes closed.
What will David and John make of this transformation?
John, David, your first garden. You're excited about it. Would you like to open your eyes?
Oh my God. Blooming heck.
Excellent. Really excellent.
And you saved the honeysuckle.
Doesn't it look amazing?
Oh my Lord. Look at that.
This is your not garden, your potager that's got herbs because you're into your cooking.
Absolutely lovely.
Oregano, parsley, the whole bang shaboodle.
Absolutely, mate. Lilies.
Lilies, just to make it look pretty as well.
So it's a lovely bit of geometry right at the start of the garden. I feel like really tells the tale and sets the scene of what's to come.
Yeah, and I love the way you're using lavender as well as the base. Instead of box, something means that you've got a flower, you've got that lovely romance just before you go through as well.
And the scent.
And the scent.
So, come explore your new pergola, which I have to say, I mean, it's quite elegant.
It is. It's big as well.
Yeah, I love the pergola. I love the way that Charlie's had that opening, which makes that view much bigger.
It's like walking down some stately home and you've got a big view down there. It's beautiful. I can't get over it.
The reflective pool.
Look at the pots.
Oh, they're stunning.
Nice, gentle, calm sound. Lots of glamorous plants and the reflections in the water.
So nice having it at the expanse and having to walk over it. Really makes you feel like you're transporting into another room.
It's really enjoying that element of water, isn't it? Getting to walk over it. Yeah. So special.
This is just the perfect size. It is exactly what we wanted. And I love all the green around the edge.
The plants are all going to grow up, but they're going to be very open, so it won't block your neighbours. Just screen it slightly. So it's all silvers, greens and whites. So very grown up. And what do you think about that tree there? That maple?
It's just stunning.
Yes,
it's a big tree.
It is a big tree.
Isn't it?
It's so lovely putting something in of that height and that size. You really get the idea of what it's doing straight away.
Shows you only need one when it's that big.
Exactly.
Yeah, so this will make this a really lovely, dappled, chill-out area. When you're fed up with entertaining everyone, you want to run off and hide with a book.
When I saw the plan and everything, I'm just thinking, oh, I don't know, is it big enough for that and everything? But it fits really well.
It does.
It does. Looking back here, you get everything down that way. So when you sat on there, you'll just get the full view of the garden. He'll be shouting, bring me a glass of wine. I won't get that chance.
Just the bottle, really.
So do you think it's been worth it?
Oh,
good, yeah.
Without a doubt.
Yeah,
It's far better.
Yeah, we really have exceeded expectations, so thank you ever so much.
Now that the team has packed up and left them alone, David and John have had a chance to take stock.
It's got so much more in it than we ever imagined.
It's the mixed space that we can use. You know, people can chill out in various parts, not trip over each other. So yeah, it just looks great.
But what of that upcoming special occasion?
We're definitely going to have the reception in the garden, and I can't wait to see Charlie walk down there, sit down in the swing with a glass of champagne and look back on her work and think, I did this for the boys. It's absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah.